although he said he wanted to be a hacker. When computers first appeared in our city, what attracted him most about computers was undoubtedly various computer games. Our family backgrounds were similar, neither rich nor poor, but our parents had different consumption concepts, so his family bought a computer early, while mine didn't. However, for him, playing at home was probably not as free as playing outside, nor did it have the atmosphere of playing with other friends, so he often ran to the computer rooms outside. At that time, the term internet cafe had not been invented, and they were all called computer rooms, because the internet was not yet popular, and such places were specifically used for playing stand-alone or at most LAN games. At that time, the school strictly prohibited students from playing games in such places, which seemed to be called the so-called 3 rooms and 1 hall and were forbidden to enter. In my case, because my academic performance was at the top of the class, and I often took the first place, even if my grades never fell out of the top 10. If I was not in the top 3, it was called a great regression in the mouth of the head teacher. In 12 semesters, I once failed to get the 3 Good Student Award because of such a great regression, but because I was actually also interested in those colorful soldiers, tanks, monsters, and martial arts, and I was used to playing with him. I also went in and out of the computer room with him, but I always just watched and didn't play myself. I watched him spend a long time in Red Alert, building a large number of apocalypse tanks, and assigning them all to Team 1, then sending them all out. There was a dense mass on the radar, but when I looked at the opposite side, it was an even larger mass of mosaics. I watched him build dozens of zealots in StarCraft, and then charge to the door of the opponent's built bunker. The team was hit by a spider mine, and he kept clicking the right mouse button on the bunker, trying to blow it up. Then when the zealots were almost dead, he cut the screen back to the base to continue building zealots. The alarm sound, "Our warrior has been engaged by the enemy," came from the speakers. With our limited English listening skills, we mistakenly heard it as "Good morning, Japanese." The subsequent syllables were ignored by us, because we really couldn't understand what they meant. Therefore, we thought at that time that StarCraft was a game made by the Japanese, because the red and white machines we played as children were made by the Japanese. Although I usually just watched, there was once when he was playing the 2-player mode of VR Troopers. I controlled the position of P2 on the right small keyboard, and of course I messed him up badly. The reasons were: first, economic problems. I hardly had any pocket money, only when my Chinese and math scores both got 100 points in the midterm and final exams each semester. My parents would give me, for example, 10 brand new 50-cent banknotes. At other times, there was nothing. I didn't dare to imagine learning from some children who stole big nails from construction sites to sell as scrap iron to make money. Therefore, as a little 5-cent party with an annual income of at most 20 yuan, I couldn't afford the sky-high computer usage fees for me, and I didn't have the habit of relying on others to treat me. The other reason was probably that I cared about my identity as a good student and didn't want to actively break the school rules.